The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
Skating on the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tones, we find our glory, his skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice we fight, and we must, for the city we love. In the blue, no we'll thrust.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 142 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for blues news, views, and fan interviews, powered by Scooter's Coffee. Blues fans can score the amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooter's Coffee. We are back another week of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, episode 142. We are Dakota-less for one more week, but Dakota will be joining us. I will say next episode, probably not next week because it's Christmas week and we're most likely going to take off. The NHL's taking off, so we're going to take off as well. Our special guest this week is Mr. Josh Thornton. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks. It's pretty cool to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I appreciate you commenting on Facebook. I actually ended up with a lot of comments. Sometimes I post and I'm like, who wants to come on next week or tomorrow or whatever, and nobody responds. So it's kind of nice to get a lot of responses, and even more nice, I think, to get Josh of just being a new guy, someone who has listened a couple times but has not been on. So we get kind of a fresh perspective on the Blues here from Josh.
I'm excited.
Right. What'd you say? Sorry, I missed that.
I was just saying I'm just excited to be here. It's a pretty cool feeling.
All right. Awesome. Have you done a podcast before of any sort?
I have not, but I've been on little bits and clips on TV from like public signings from the Blues, Cardinals, and whatnot. So not too much.
Oh, well, at that point, you're more of a professional than I am. All right. Looks like we do have some guests joining in. All right. Let's see. Sam popped up. I even told Josh here that Sam wouldn't be here. She says, surprised to hear me. She said she wasn't coming, but we do have her in. Good to see Dakota checking in, tuning from the road. Dakota, we'll see you back in 2 weeks. We have on YouTube Chinazoom Wisdom. I'm not sure who that is, but they're checking in from YouTube, and then I guess we'll just go with SHZVD. Is that all hail? All hail. SHZVD. So appreciate everyone listening in. We got a lot to talk about here with Josh, between games that have been not so good, games that have been good, people getting hurt, whether it's in a game or in practice, and then just a little bit of everything else. Before we kind of dive into the Blues, though, Josh, I just kind of wanted to get your background on your Blues fandom. When did you become, like a big Blues fan? Has it always been that way, or did you just kind of start off recently?
Yeah, so I played hockey for, I don't know, probably 10, closing on 12 years. Always been a hockey family. First in the family to play hockey. I've always been a big Blues fan, but just recently in the past couple of years, I've been getting a little bit into, or I guess a little bit bigger into all the stats, games, losses, and all that stuff. So on that, I always love the Blues.
All right. Did you play, and how What's your hockey career as far as playing look like? I can tell you I've played one season of adult rec league. That's the best I've ever done.
Yeah, so I started. I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and then throughout high school, I kind of quit playing around my junior year of high school, and then I went from being a little kid to being 16, 17 years old.
All right. So you've played significantly more hockey than me, and you've been on TV more than I have. So it sounds like you should be running a podcast and not me.
It would have been cool, but nah, it ain't for me.
It's a good time. It can be stressful sometimes trying to get all the stuff put together and whatnot, but once you get started, then it kind of works its way out and it becomes a lot easier. But getting started is the hard part.
Yeah.
All right. Let's dive into some recent games then. Since our last episode when we recorded with Mr. Dan Picard, the last game was Tuesday, December 9th. The Blues played at home against Boston. Ended up being a 5-2 loss. Robert Thomas got both of our goals, his 5th and 6th of the season at that point. Hofer was able to stop 26 of 30 for an 8.67 save percentage. Not great. We also lost to Boston 5-2 a couple days right before that. Not necessarily a back-to-back. There was a game in between. I think you said, Josh, you didn't really catch this one, right?
No, I just had stuff going on, but the past 2 Preds games, I'm not happy to say that we did watch it. We did watch those 2.
Unfortunately, watch that. Hopefully, you made the executive decision and shut it off early. Let's go through the Thursday, December 11th. We played our first Nashville game, which was at Nashville. Blues ended up losing 7-2. Hugh McGinn gets his first goal of the year, and I believe first goal as an NHLer. I know he's played games sparingly here and there, but I think it was his first game as an NHLer.
It was.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I was like, if we didn't know, I knew Sam would double check it for me. So Thomas ended up getting his 7th goal. Bennington plays the first 2 periods, gets pulled after that. Hofer goes in for the 3rd. Nashville, as of right now, is the 30th ranked team in the NHL. And we just got our ass kicked by them twice. So what's your thoughts on that happening?
Oh, it's just to start off is kind of embarrassing that they're 3rd or 30th. I think we could have done a little bit better with passing the puck. I also think that dumping the puck and chasing is good on some lines, and sometimes it can backfire. So I think that could have a big impact on the way the game was going.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that game. I think I've just done a really good job of hating it so much that I've deleted it from my mind, which is probably a good thing. Was that one that Bennington didn't play well, or did we just suck in front of him and he got pulled just because he gave up 4 goals?
I think the first goal, it was a soft, easy goal that he should have saved. The second goal, I don't remember too well. And then after, I think like 3rd period, I think that's kind of where I just kind of dozed off and didn't pay too much attention, unfortunately.
Which is probably what most Blues fans did.
Yeah.
So, well, let's get to bright and happier places then. Because after Thursday, on Friday, we had, and this is December 12th, a home game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Blues end up winning 3-2. Mayu gets his first of the season. Matt Luff gets his first goal of the season, and then Justin Falk gets his 7th. Hofer is able to stop 27 of 29 shots to keep Blackhawks only getting 2 goals. Before we get into the dilemma or the drama at the end of the game, what was your thoughts on just the game itself?
I think we played decent. We're a very strong two period leaders, or I guess 2 period players. But I think we played decently, even though they were able to get those 2 goals pretty quickly. I guess I can't say pretty quickly, but easy enough to where they had the easy chances to score even more on us. But overall, I think we played a decent game. We finally held out to the very end. And then at the very few seconds, tragedy happened.
Tragedy happened. We just got a very weird comment on YouTube that I'm not going to pull up, but it's a weird one. Thoughts on and again the tragedy. So some will say it's the tragedy, and then we got instant karma the couple days later at practice. When the Blackhawks scored towards kind of the middle or end of the third period, did at any point in your mind just go, oh, here we go again, 2-goal lead disappearing, they're going to score, and we're going to go into overtime?
Yeah, I think I was definitely a little worried because normally from our previous games of the 25-26 season, we've kind of had a bit of a trend going where the third period we kind of lose our energy, we start to fall behind a little bit, and I think that's when most of the games will start to go into a different route. Instead of us winning, it's kind of the other team scoring goals. So I was definitely a little worried from it. But thank God we held off. That's all I can say about it so far.
All right. And then one more question from you, just because I know we're going to spend some time on the Bedard injury. So I wanted to get to this first. With your more of a hockey background than me, the Blues seem to have a problem with second period. And it seems to be that long change of we get stuck in our zone and don't have that ability to have that long change. Now, I know you played up till about the middle of high school.
Yeah.
So what was your any thoughts on that change being difficult? And I know you're comparing like middle of high school to NHL, which is completely different, but just any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so from what I remember, going into the second period, everyone's still feeling confident. It could be a 3-1 lead. It could be a 2-0 lead. Everyone's still confident. There's still 40 minutes left to play. I think closer to that end of the second period is when it starts going into a way of, are we going to win? Can we win? Are we able to get these shots off, these goals in the net? So it kind of gives the players like a little bit of frustration. I think that's kind of what's setting in closer to the third period. And I think after that second period, the coach is going to be like, what's going on? Y'all need just trying to give them a heads up or some encouragement and whatnot. So I think at the beginning of the third period is kind of where you're kind of more calm, I should say. And then you're really in the mood to try and get the goals, the shots off, like I said. But yeah, it's really no different than starting the first period or anything. And you just try to get what you can, get your shots on, and hopefully they go in the back of the net.
That'd be nice. We can use some more of that. That would be great. And they starting off the first period seems to be doing well unless we get in penalty trouble, which kind of happened at the beginning of the second period with Nashville. And in the most recent game on Monday, which was yesterday. But yeah, we start off well, and then that for some reason you kind of just mentioned, it's just starting every period. It's all the same. It's just period 1, period 2, period 3, but we just can't seem to do that. Period 2 gets us stuck, and then that period 3 we're just playing catch up, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, I also think that since we're in the lead, I guess I can't say we're always in the lead like the first, second period. I think whenever we are in the lead of the third period, I think they're trying to become more relaxed instead of more go, go, go. They're trying to chill out, play more reserved, and I think that's where it's kind of hurting them the worst.
Yeah, just a different style of whether you're winning or trying to catch up, either way. All right, well, let's get into the controversy then, because that's what the people are here for. That's the fun part. Do you want to go ahead and give your thoughts and recollection of what happened with 0.8 seconds left in the Chicago Blackhawks game?
Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised they put in Bedard for the last 0.8 seconds. I'm very surprised. He's a smaller guy. He's quite young, 18 years old, a little bit smaller, less weight. Going up against Shen, who's a veteran, who's bigger, has more weight to him. And I think some people can think the same as not playing the puck and just trying to defend the puck and just try to let that time run out. And I can also see people saying, play the puck and get that last shot off from the point or the winger. So I can see both ways for it, but it happened. What happened. There's no going back. And then with Shen doing that hit, I don't know. I think it was a good part on him just protecting the puck and just not play it. I think that was a good part on him.
So I don't think Shen's attitude in that faceoff was to win it. It was just not let Bedard win it clean. As long as because it's 0.8 seconds. As long as he doesn't win it clean, they have no chance.
Yeah, which Bedard, he can be a scary player. He's very young. He's fast. He can get those shots off very, very quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got that toe drag that just seems to kind of defy physics sometimes of how he can toe drag and shoot at the same time. It's
nasty. I've seen him play and practicing, just doing that little toe drag shot flick. It's nasty.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Bedard ended up going on IR. I think they were going to reevaluate him in a couple weeks, but kind of like you just said, I know they're within one, but it's an offensive zone faceoff with 0.8 seconds left. So to put Connor Bedard out there against a bigger, stronger Braden Shen, knowing that Braden Shen isn't trying to win the puck, he's just going to try to make sure Bedard doesn't. And just kind of Bedard's hand gets stuck up with Shen's stick, which is going into him, and just kind of pulls his shoulder back and must have done, I don't know. The NHL is so kind of iffy on injury reports. They'll just list it as upper body and won't say anything else about it. So upper body injury, Bedard is out. Chicago Blackhawks played the next night and ended up getting shut out, which is kind of funny. So they lost to us 3-2 and then got shut out in their next game. I didn't pay attention to who they played.
Oh, I did not see it, no.
Yeah, so.
But I've watched that clip over and over and over again, and I still can't seem to figure out at what point was his shoulder really hurting? Because he was all the way up here, and if you just, I guess his arm just got pulled back a little bit too much. I'm not sure, but I've seen people say it's collarbone. I can see people saying it's just his shoulder, his arm. And then I followed the Blackhawks a little bit, and they haven't put out any statements on it yet either.
Mm-hmm. So I did see in the Athletic article by the Chicago Blackhawks reporter, he did say that their coach labeled it a freak accident. That's a direct quote. So for the Blackhawks people out there blaming or accusing Shen of purposely trying to hurt him, he was purposely trying to make it hard for Bedard to win an easy faceoff. He's just trying to tie him up. He's not trying to win the puck, because there are, like you said, people who are saying he needs to go try to win the puck. I was like, no, he doesn't. Not in that situation.
I mean, if you were Shen, would you want to would you play the puck, or would you actually defend it just like what Shen did? I mean, I think a lot of Blackhawk fans will say, "Oh, well, I would just play it." And if they were in his situation on everything, I think they would protect the puck and not give the Bedard the chance to pull it back or shoot or pass it back to the point.
All right. Yep. I agree with you. So that was Friday. And then I guess the hockey gods maybe felt that Braden Shen should have tried to win the puck and should not have attempted to tie Bedard up, which caused an injury, because at practice on, I believe it was Sunday.
Yeah.
At practice on Sunday, we get the notification or the picture of Dylan Holloway being escorted off the ice, not being able to put any weight on his right leg of some sort. A lot of people were assuming it had something to do with his torn oblique that he had at the end of last season. Luckily, it's not anything related to that. but it is a right ankle injury, and it looks like he's going to be on IR for at least the next 6 weeks. So the Blues are already devastated with injuries. But Josh, how does this Dylan Holloway impact how the team is playing now, and combine it with all of the other injuries that we have going on?
Yeah, so I think I can't say he's a key player, but he's definitely a player who knows how to play. He knows how to get the goals, get the assists, get points, and whatnot. The way he's been playing this year, I think he's done really, really well. I've looked up to him last year and this year, but after seeing that he got with that right ankle, I think it could put a little bit of stress on our team. Maybe bringing some more AHL players up, like Hugh McGee's coming up here, and then Dvorsky came up. I don't know. I think it could go both ways with the younger talent coming up, and hopefully Hugh McGee, Dvorsky will keep playing and can get it done.
Let's talk about Hugh McGee, because I've actually really liked the way he's played. I thought he's played better than Matt Luff has. Now I know Matt Luff scored the goal the other day, but McGee also has gotten a goal the other day. I think it was within the last couple of hours, McGee has actually been sent back to the AHL, which kind of surprised me, because I thought, again, that McGee was playing better and Luff maybe needed to be the guy that's sent down. Part of being sent down, I think, has to do with the waiver pickup, is we got Jonathan Bergeron off of waivers, and so he has to be with the club. Otherwise, if we try to send him down, he'll go through waivers again, and someone else could take him. So McGee is down. But you would you have preferred McGee to stay up and Luff to go down, or do you think this is the right decision?
I don't know. I could go both ways. Hugh McGee, we haven't seen too much of him in the NHL. It would have been cool to see him play, I don't know, maybe 2 more games, just see what he can do, see what he's good at, see what he can improve on. But same goes with Loof. He hasn't played too much NHL games with the Blues. But I think I would have stuck with Hugh McGee, because from what I've seen, he can pass pretty well. And he has some decent speed to him if he really wants to try and get to the puck or skate past the D-men.
Yeah, he's kind of reminded me of a good replacement for Nathan Walker, is what I've been getting from Hugh McGee. He had an assist last night on a pretty nice puck. Justin Falk put that one high in the air. He brought it down, toe dragged around one guy, and then sort of toe dragged around a second and passed it to Dvorsky, and Dvorsky sniped it. So a nice AHL goal there. But again, just some individual skill from McGee, but also kind of some speed, like you said, and a little bit of heart. It gives me the little Nathan Walker vibe. Yeah,
I also think since he's newish to the NHL, I think it was also the pressure that's coming to him, being on the ice with all these veterans, all these older guys. I think the pressure was getting to him, so I think he played really well, given the facts given what happened, and doing what he can do. So I think he has more potential, hopefully, but I would like to see that a little bit more in the future.
Yeah. So we have McGee, who came up, got his toes wet, but he's back in the AHL. They did call up Alex Santeri, Askamaki. They've sent him down a couple times. So again, gotten his toes wet. They do have Otto Stenberg called up right now, but they did that yesterday before the Jonathan waiver claim. Bergeron. I don't know. So it'll be interesting, I guess, tomorrow, Wednesday, to see, is Jonathan Bergeron getting in? Is Otto Stenberg getting in? If those guys are getting in, who's out? Is it going to be somebody like Matt Luff, or is it someone like Robbie Fabry, who we can get into now? Thoughts on Robbie Fabry? I guess go ahead first. Thoughts on just the signing itself, and then thoughts on how you think he's done the first 3 games so far.
Yeah, so whenever I first saw the headline that Fabry was coming back, I was pretty excited. I've always liked him when he was with us in the Cup. Then him coming back it's kind of like for that 1 year deal. It's kind of like, is he going to play the next year after this season? So it's kind of a heartfelt thing that he did come back and he's wearing the blue note again. But hopefully he can put in some work.
All right. In 3 games, he's got no goals, but he does have 2 assists for 2 points, and he's got a -1 rating. So stats aren't superb and by any means. How is your eye test with how you've seen Fabry on the ice?
So I think it's more or less just him getting situated with here in St. Louis with all the new players that came in that he hasn't met before, getting a feel for all the other teammates, how they play, how he fits in. So anytime you move to a different team, you got to figure out like all the teammates, what they're good at, what they can do. And I think he's still acclimating to the Blues again.
In there. There have been some times that I've seen some, at least maybe 2 or 3 times a game, I see a shift that I think is really well done. We're either in the offensive zone, or it might just be a really good defensive shift that kind of helps us get out of the defensive end and into the offense. And it has to do with Robbie Fabry. Robbie Fabry is either causing a commotion in front of the net, which allows us to get some shots, and then he's going and getting rebounds, or he's the one shooting, whatever it is. So not necessarily resulting in those goals, but it's kind of how things were before we ran all of these injuries. And when we were doing well at 5-on-5, it was because of our 4th line. And I think Robbie is playing on the 3rd line, but it's those bottom 6 lines that are driving our 5-on-5 play, even with some of these injuries. I do know, Thomas has gotten 3 goals in the last 4 games. Falk is still doing well. Dvorsky gets 2 last night against Nashville. He's probably playing top 6 minutes by now. Is he on the 2nd line, Dvorsky?
I think he is now.
Okay. That's what I would think. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the lines. All right. So I think that's the only one we didn't cover is our other ass kicking by Nashville yesterday on Monday, 5-2 loss. Hey, that's better than 7-2. Dvorsky scored goals 4 and 5. Hofer stops 21 of 25. I honestly thought Hofer was going to get pulled after the second period because that last goal at the end of the second period was not good. I think he should have had that, and I think he should have had another one before that. So I thought he gave up 2 weak ones. Did you watch it? You watched the game last night?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces. I wasn't able to watch the entire thing, but I watched enough to know that I think Hofer is starting to look a little bit better than what he did at the beginning of the season, just letting in some soft goals. But I think since this season has already starting to come along, I think he's starting to get more confident, and I think he's starting to start more games, and I think he'll be a little bit better here in the upcoming games.
Yeah, he was starting to. I agree. Like it's hard to get worse than how he started the year because that was really bad. But yes, definitely better. And looking forward to him continue some up. He's slowly moving up, but it's like up and then down and then up and then down. And there's been more good than bad recently. Last night being probably one of more bad, but then you look at Friday and it's one of the really goods. So it's there. We just got to find the consistency. That seems to be the issue.
Yeah, he's kind of like a mountain. He's going up and down, and it would be nice to see him to where he can just plateau off, or I can't, not plateau, but just kind of level off where he's getting really consistent saves and not letting in so many goals every game. I mean, other teams have been scoring too much besides that 2-7 loss.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we can get him to level off a little bit, I think we'll be a lot better in that.
All right. You got anything else for? We covered a lot there. That was really good. Anything else for like most recent games before we kind of look to the future?
I mean, other than our little bit of a list of our IR of our injureds. Would be cool to see some of those players back, but obviously we have to wait a handful of weeks to see our players like Kyrou, Snuggerud, Walker, and Bukestan to wait for them to heal up and see what they can do.
Yeah, I will add the nice thing, Toropchenko back in the lineup yesterday. So that was nice. I know we lost Holloway for 6 weeks, which is a long time. But getting Toropchenko back, at least getting somebody back. Bukestad, I believe, should only be out a couple more days. He was concussion protocol. So he should be, when he got injured, it was, I think, listed exactly at 5 days. And so we're probably getting close to that.
And last I saw, he was on a day-to-day basis or game-to-game.
Yeah. So he should be back soon. The big one is you got a whole, our second line is injured between Holloway, Kyrou, and then you can throw Snuggerud. Snuggerud's been playing on the first line, but that's a whole top 6 line is injured for the Blues. And so you luckily are able to kind of throw Jake Neighbors up, and it looks like we're able to throw Dvorsky up a little bit, but it's still not the same as a Holloway or a Kyrou.
Nope.
So that's the big issue. All right, I'm going to read some ad reads because people tell me to do it, and Dakota hasn't texted me yet, which is surprising, but I figured he would text me and tell me to do ad reads or comment on here and say, don't forget your ad reads. But we're right at the 30th-ish minute mark, so we'll do it. All right, we told you about scooters earlier. If you guys have the chance, make sure to check out Scooters on Highway 143 and Troxler Way in Highland, or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville. If you cannot check those out, you can check out the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. You got a Scooters Coffee around you?
I do. I have one off Highway K and then one off Church Street in St. Peter's.
There you are.
Both of those two grasses.
You avid coffee drinker?
I'm not.
Okay.
Coffee, but all I do is I cut their grass. That's about it.
All right. Well, they should pay you in coffee, at least the chocolate coffee, because it's good and it doesn't really taste. It's got some coffee, but it's got chocolate.
A few times they've always given me one.
There you go. All right. We also have Hughes Custom Design. They are a family-owned and run small business that is operated out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request, and they can complete almost any request for custom jobs. So check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook. You can just shoot them a picture of a design that you would like, and he should be able to laser cut it, hand paint it, ship it off to you. Also comes with LED lights on the back, so it looks pretty cool. That is Hughes Custom Design on Facebook. And then our last one is Imprint Labs. They specialize in bringing your brand to life with custom laser engraved Richardson hats and vibrant custom sublimated metal prints. Whether you want to make a statement with high quality headwear or showcase your designs on eye-catching metal art, they deliver precision, durability, and style every time. Elevate your brand with Imprint Lab, where your vision meets our craftsmanship. So that would be my hat here. I think my favorite thing are these metal signs. These things are cool. So metal, St. Louis Blues, championship signs, got stickers on the back, so I could put it on the wall if I wanted to. But they can do almost anything. Metal can koozie. It's got my logo on it. They got a little bit of everything. This mouse pad that I have right here at the Blues logo and my logo on it. So if you, my made up logo for them is if you have shit and you want it on shit, they're your people. So that would work. Do you own your grass cutting business, Josh?
Yeah. So it's more or less me and my dad's business together. He started it when I was super young, and then now he does two of the scooters in St. Peter's.
All right. Well, if you need some merchandise, if you need some hats or some shirts or just anything, reach out to Imprint Labs. They'll hook you up.
He needs some. He needs to advertise it.
There you go. I'll send you their number. And then if you want to reach out, you can. It's totally up to you. Look at that. I should get a finder's fee if you guys buy anything. All right. Let's look in at the standings currently for the St. Louis Blues and for the NHL. So right now, the Blues are in 28th place in the NHL. And it is a very, very interesting spot to be in. Because when you say 28th place, in my mind, we have no shot at making the playoffs.
Nope.
But luckily, because the Western Conference is so bad, 28th place, we've played 34 games and we have 31 points. We are only 4 points behind the San Jose Sharks, who currently hold the wild card 2 spot. San Jose has played one less game. They've played 33 games, but they're only at 35 points.
Yep.
So we play, I believe, Wednesday and Thursday. Actually, I have it written down here. We play Wednesday and Thursday. By Thursday, and I'm not sure when San Jose plays, by Thursday, we win 2 games. It's realistic that we could be in a wild card playoff spot.
It'll kind of look like last year. And hopefully don't go into double OT, but there is that chance we could get that wild card.
Does that just seem like crazy that that's even a possibility that we could still make the playoffs and fairly easily still make the playoffs?
So it is kind of crazy. It's interesting. It's fun. Anything can really happen. I mean, if you look at last year's, we went on that, what was it, 13? 12 game streak, and we clutched that wild card spot, and then we were playing against the Stars. Yeah, the Stars, and they were the President's Trophy.
We played the Jets, and yes, they were the President Trophy winners last year. Yep.
And took them to double overtime, and so I think anything can still happen, and it could look like 2019 again when we were in dead last, and then we went on another 9, 10, 11 game, something like that, win streak, and ended up winning. So anything could realistically happen. So it's fun and exciting, and it's scary.
I wonder, thinking of it seems like you have a very positive mindset. So I'm going to go positive mindset with this as well. And the fact that maybe these injuries to our kind of big key guys are kind of a good thing, especially if the standings are going to stay this tight and it's not going to be like, oh, we have to catch up 20 points and that's never going to happen, but we only need to catch up 4. Like, that's a possibility. So maybe it's a good reset for a team that when we were healthy still wasn't playing good. But we saw, like you were just talking about at the end of last year, where this team can play good. We don't have Bolduc on the team anymore. We don't have Radek Fox on the team, and we're missing, I guess, the leadership of Ryan Suter. But besides that, this team is the same thing as last year.
Yeah.
So maybe these injuries and allowing the team to kind of reset itself, in probably the end of January would be a good time to end of January, early February. You have that Olympic break, and then post-Olympic break, we make a run again. So yeah, I like your glass half full positive mindset that you got, Josh.
Yeah, from the trending years, I like to stay hopeful with it. I mean, we were dead last 2019, and we won the puck. So ever since then, I've always had I guess I can't think of the right words, but like long hopeful. I'm hopeful for the long run in the games coming up.
Mm-hmm. The Blues fans, especially on social media, are extremely emotional, and I fall for this too. Sometimes I'll be honest. Sometimes I fall for it because I'm like, man, this team sucks. I hate this team. Sometimes I just post that stuff on Facebook because I know people will comment on it, and I need people to kind of rile it up, get some comments, get some likes, whatever it is.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So glass half full outlook. Josh's positive outlook here is we are only 4 points away from being in the playoffs. The crazy thing that I find is we are 4 points away from being in the playoffs, but we are also 4 points away from being the last place team in the whole NHL. Right now, Vancouver has played 32 games. So they still have 2 more games to play to compare to our 34. And they are at 27 points. And we're at 31.
I think they're at like 12 and 15 right now, which we're kind of the same way, but we only need that 4, and hopefully we can get those 4 points made up here soon.
Yeah. Well, what's helping us the most is those 7 overtime losses, which I know have been very painful for us to watch, but they are at least a point each. Like, at least we didn't lose and we lost in overtime, so we got a point, which is helping us be closer to the playoffs than someone like Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that's really keeping us close to the bottom of the league, but also still close to the playoffs, is the fact that the Western Conference is just pretty not great at hockey. We have the big teams. Colorado is dominant. Dallas is still good. Vegas is doing fine. Edmonton is not doing very great, but I do think they are still in a playoff spot just because the Pacific is worse than the Central. But an interesting stat, I mentioned that San Jose is currently in the wild card 2 spot for the Western Conference with 35 points. There are 4 teams in the East that have more than 35 points and are currently not going to make the playoffs in the East.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess looking at it's Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Florida, and the Rangers. Pittsburgh and New Jersey have 37 points. Florida and the Rangers have 36 points. So I'm going to give you a hypothetical here, Josh. If this continues and you're looking at in the East, Pittsburgh, New Jersey, Florida, and the Rangers all having more points at the end of the season than someone like the San Jose Shark who get our wild card 2. Do you still agree with the way that the playoffs are constructed and where it's 3 teams from the Pacific, 3 teams from the Central, 3 teams from the Metro, and 3 teams from the Atlantic? Or would you say pick the top best 16 and it doesn't matter what conference they play in?
Yeah, I like to pick the best top 6 teams. Doesn't matter the conference. I think that's the way it should be, because it gives everyone an equal shot at going against everyone instead of just going from you're going to play this specific team, you're going to play this specific team. And I think it should just be one big area on teams playing basically anyone. So I'm not a big fan of the Eastern Conference and the Western and whatnot. Never really have been a fan of it, but it is what it is for right now. Hopefully it would change, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't expect it to change either, but that is always a discussion, and it happens. That discussion pops up more when you have things like what's going on right now of 4 teams that are better than teams in the West that would technically, if the season ended today, not make the playoffs, despite them being quote unquote better teams. They would fill in the top 16 where San Jose is probably like, let's see, probably 20th. They would be ranked 20th and still making the playoffs. So, interesting thought. Thanks, Josh. Oh, I wanted to go over injuries. You want to talk about injuries?
That would be fun.
We love injuries. We mentioned Holloway. We talked about Holloway. You brought up, we've already kind of dove into Kyrou. We've talked about Walker, Sundqvist, Toropchenko, or not Sundqvist. Sundqvist surprisingly is not hurt yet. I'm sure at some point he will get hurt.
And it's only a matter of time.
So, Josh, I was telling you before we got on about a stat that is called man games lost. And so I looked it up because I was interested to see where the Blues would fit into this. So man games lost is just a total calculation of how many games a team loses because players are sitting out. So think of last night's game on Monday, we had no Jordan Kyrou, no Dylan Holloway, no Jimmy Snuggerud, no Nathan Walker, no Nick Bukestad. I think that's the 5. So last night we acquired 5 man games lost because we lost 5 games of those guys should be playing.
Yeah.
I really thought the Blues would be high on this list because we're talking about all the massive injuries that we have. But the Blues were actually ranked 29th on this list, meaning we have the 29th least man games lost as far as regular NHL teams. Does that kind of come as a surprise to you when I go over that?
Yes and no, only because I feel like some of our, I guess, higher end players, like, I mean, just like Kyrou, Snuggerud, I think that being 29th is, I mean, it still could be a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. You know, we have those players that's missing out. They're not getting any playing time. They're not getting all the shots and goals that they should be getting. So I don't know. It's definitely an interesting topic to talk on, but I'm hoping that some of these other players, like on different teams, can make a comeback and get these players off the injured reserve list, start playing, and see how all the teams are completely fully staffed and put together.
That would be nice. Sometimes I play franchise mode on NHL and I turn injuries off. And that seems like what we should do right now is just, can we just turn them off? That'd be nice. Unfortunately for the NHL, maybe fortunately for us, although all of these teams, except for one of them, are in the East, the teams that lead the league in man games lost are actually all teams that are either in the playoffs or very close to the playoffs. So the team that leads the league right now in man games lost is actually the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, part of that is because I do think it's still calculating Alex Pietrangelo in that, who is not playing at all this year. So that's, a hurt one. But they have missed their starting goaltender, Aiden Hill. They are down William Karlsson. They're down defenseman Jeremy Lazan. And they just lost recently Pavel Dofeyev, who I know is a pretty good goal scorer, but I don't know if he's out long term, but he just got hurt actually 2 days ago, I think 3 days ago. So we kind of talk and, bitch and moan about losing Kyrou and losing Holloway and losing Snuggerud and losing Nathan Walker, but we're talking about a starting goalie, Petro, a number 1 defenseman, and William Karlsson, who I think was maybe playing on their middle 6 and not necessarily their top 6, but that's still good players that the Vegas Golden Knights have lost.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary thinking that since they are off the list, how dangerous can they be when they're all healthy? And it just goes to show that one person doesn't make the entire team, but also can. Because once they come back, I think the Golden Knights could be a little bit more scary to play since they got, Pietrangelo on their team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of fun to think about.
All right. Well, I think the big one is Florida. Florida's been without Alexander Barkov and without Matthew Tkachuk for all season. And I think they are without them all season. I don't think they're coming back. But those are 2 of the best players in the NHL. And Florida is 2 points out of a playoff spot in the East. So it's like they're missing their 2 highest paid best players.
No.
And they're still killing it.
So even without Tkachuk, they're still a very scary team to play, even without him. But I think, I can't say once, but if he comes back this year, or once, whatever he does, I think he can make a big impact on the way that they play. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hard for Florida to make a 4th straight Stanley Cup Finals. That would be absolutely nuts. And that's probably why they are injured, is their bodies are just worn out after going to 3 finals in a row and winning 2 of them.
I mean, with the playoffs being even more physical, that it could realistically have a toll on their bodies after doing 4 straight runs.
Right.
And I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. The last team I wanted to bring up is the other team in Florida, and that's the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're currently without Victor Hedman, number one goalie or number one defenseman. And they are also without Vasilevsky, their all-pro goaltender. So two big names, again, that Tampa Bay is missing, and Tampa Bay is in the playoffs right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
So, the Blues have some injury woes right now. We're kind of getting hit with these injuries all at the same time, it seems like. But it's not just us. Like there's a lot of major injuries across the league, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get your thoughts on the next few games before Christmas break here. We have 4 games. And I just kind of want you to give me your thoughts on them and then give me an idea if you think we come out with a win in those games, or what do you think the result might be?
So coming into these next 4 games, I'm going to skip over and just talk about the break for a quick second. I think after these 4 games, we could, since we have that break, we could, I guess, have like a different, New Year's resolution for just to play better, practice harder. I don't know. But I think we could come back a little rusty. But I think we can also come back in January just being rejuvenated and ready to play. But for these next 4 games coming up, I'm still hopeful. I'm hopeful every game. But winning all 4, it would be tough, but it would be something cool to see, especially against the Rangers. I've always thought they were a pretty decent team. So we'll see in tomorrow's game.
Yeah, so tomorrow we have at home in that playoff matchup that you were mentioning earlier against the Winnipeg Jets. Do you see redemption in our future on Wednesday, or how are you feeling for that game?
I'm nervous, but like you said, it's kind of scary, but also I'd like to see if we can just beat them this once, just to get those points to clinch the wild card again. Just kind of throw it in their face, like, yeah, we can keep up with you. Don't worry about us, and just be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. I'm not 100% sure if they are in a playoff spot right now. They might be. They're probably close, but they're not near President's Trophy like they were last year. They did lose a big goal scorer in Nikolai Ehlers, but they should be. They picked up Jonathan Toews. They should be. They got Captain Sirius. But yeah, big win there. You mentioned Thursday against the Rangers. You're feeling better about that game?
I really am. I think Bugstand, I think it was Bugstand. I feel like he might try to make it. I hope he does. He's played quite a few games with us, and I think once he gets back on the ice, he's gonna be a very energetic, and he's gonna fight through the entire 60. So I'm hoping he comes back, but if we don't, we're gonna see what we can do. I'm excited.
All right, we'll take some 2 wins, especially at home there. And then before Christmas break, we spend the last couple days in Florida. Saturday, we have a game against the Panthers. Monday, we got a game against the Lightning. How are you feeling for those coming up?
I think it was after the break.
Those are before the break. That's the 20th and the 22nd, and then we have Christmas break.
Oh, that's right. I'm hoping since they're looking forward to something, I can see it going both ways. They're ready for a break. They're eager to get home with their families, and so hopefully they can push through all the emotions that's coming up with the Christmas and whatnot, and hopefully they don't just try and we'll get them next time mentality, and hopefully they'll go in with a lot of energy.
Do you think it would be hard? I guess put yourself in the shoes of these NHL players. You're in St. Louis on Thursday. On Friday, they probably hop on a plane and fly down to Sunrise, Florida on, next near Miami, or pretty much in Miami, Florida. They're in Miami Saturday. They might even still be in that area Sunday. Or Sunday, they probably hop on a flight and go to Tampa Bay. Is it going to be hard after a 2-game road trip in Florida to return to St. Louis in December 23rd?
Yeah, I think it plays a big role because, I mean, obviously Florida is southern, so it's definitely different weather, different environment. I think with that 2-game road trip that they're really excited to be in a different climate, because climate I feel like does affect different people. Because if you're up in, let's say, Colorado, they're in higher elevation, so they have different air than we breathe down here. We're sub 500 feet elevation, so being in different elevations does affect your breathing, how you play, and so it's going to be different. Which in Florida, I don't think is much different in elevation, but I think it's just the weather and where they're at.
Yeah, just more to do outside, so you might, spend more energy going and doing something on game day instead of just sitting at home because it's blistering cold. Although it was like 50 degrees today, so it wasn't too bad today. It wasn't awful.
55 today and 55 tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, you guys might get some grass cut.
Oh, but tomorrow I got my barbecue before I'm excited.
Oh. All right. Oh, one last thing to talk about before we get out of here is some just NHL news. Big NHL news. So do you want to start with the small one, or you want to start with the big one?
Let's wait for the big one at the end.
All right. So small one is Edmonton packages, and I didn't write these down, but it's Stuart Skinner, and then was it Kulak?
Yep. Brent.
Yeah, Brent Kulak, and then a second-round pick to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry. There's been rumors upon rumors of Jordan Binnington going to Edmonton. I guess Jordan Binnington somehow said that wasn't a thing, or he wasn't interested. So it sounds like Edmonton pivoted and went and picked up Jarry. Goaltending has been, despite our goaltending not always being great, Edmonton's has actually been worse if you're looking at stats. Yep. So do you think this helps Edmonton reach their second finals?
I don't know, because Skinner, I feel like he's missed a few games with due to injuries. So I think he's just like Ofer. He's got an up and down mentality. Some games he's playing fairly well. Some games he could be better. But I don't know. Since they got Tristan Jarry, or the Oilers got Jarry, I think he can turn the Oilers around a little bit. Skinner, I mean, he's young. He's got potential, but those couple injuries that he has could put a damper on it.
He has won a Stanley Cup before too.
Yes,
which helps. That was kind of the big thing holding Skinner back, holding any of the goalies back for Edmonton, is they have not been able to come through and do that yet. So I think so. I think Tristan Jarry was the one who came in for Matt Murray after Matt Murray. I could be wrong there. No, another interesting note, I read this somewhere or watched it, whatever it is. I guess Pittsburgh is in the middle of potentially selling the franchise. And so getting rid of Tristan Jarry, who had a couple years on his contract left, and bringing in Stuart Skinner, who only has 1 year, and Brett Kulak, who only has 1 year, might entice more buyers, just because they're like, oh, well, we have these massive contracts, but they're gone next year. So it's really not going to affect, my dollar amount that I'm putting into this business, is the way somebody mentioned it. Okay. We have, I don't know if you follow this account on Facebook. Do you follow the St. Louis Blues hockey memes?
I do.
Okay. So Brad is commenting and says that he should play because he's only 27, but his parents won't let him out.
I did see that on the Facebook page. I did see.
So he says, "Put me in, coach. Mom and dad is ready to play." So maybe, live scoop here. Maybe Brad will be joining the podcast in 2 weeks after Christmas if his mom and dad let him come out of the basement.
Hopefully, let's see what he can do.
All right, last one is this one kind of hurts the Blues in a way because the Minnesota Wild pick up Quinn Hughes from Vancouver in one of the biggest trades that we've seen in quite some time. Minnesota Wild essentially give up 4 first-round picks. They send Marco Rossi, a former first-round pick center. They send Zeev Buium, a former first-round pick defenseman.
Yep.
They send, what is it? Is it Liam Ogren? Ogren, something like that. Another first-round pick. And then they send their actual first-round pick for this coming up. So what was your kind of reaction or thoughts, Josh, on that move by Minnesota?
So I kind of figured he was going to get traded, but to the Wild, I wasn't seeing it. I really thought he was going to go play with his brothers in Jersey, but I guess he went to the Wild, and apparently from what I've read that he forgot or left his hockey equipment with his brother or something.
Yeah, one of his brothers. I read that too.
Yep. So I thought he was going to go play for them. I'm guessing that Quinn is kind of disappointed in a way that he's not able to play with his brothers, but we'll see what he can do on the Wild. And along with Kirill Kaprizov,
yep,
another scary player. So you have Quinn Hughes playing as a D. He's a very scary defenseman. He's fast. He's got the puck skills, along with Kaprizov, who's just the same way but a forward.
Yeah, that is 2 insanely talented NHL players that are now on the same team. It almost gives a little bit, and Minnesota Wild are now being compared to Colorado, so this kind of makes sense, but it gives like a McKinnon, Cale Makar feel. Is they have their superstar forward and they have their superstar defenseman now, and can they just package the rest of it together?
And I do want to talk just for a second. If Quinn Hughes did go to Jersey to play with his brothers, how scary could that line be with the 3 Hughes brothers? What do you think they could do?
I don't know. Well, you would have Jack Hughes play center, and Quinn and Luke both play defense. Yeah. So you would have, well, imagine that like 3-on-3 lineup. That would be crazy. You got Jack Hughes centering, and you got Quinn and Luke out there, because Quinn Hughes is essentially another forward. I mean, Erik Karlsson in his prime played some time on wing because he was just that good. So I could see Quinn Hughes doing the same thing in like a 3-on-3 situation of, hey, you're going to be our winger in this situation. Just go score. Yeah, that would be real fun. I did kind of want to add to that because I think that's still a possibility. And I think the genius of Minnesota making this trade right now is that it's essentially a win-win, is because they get Quinn Hughes for this year and they're all in for this year. Yeah. And if it works, that's amazing. If it doesn't work, they have the option to re-sign him in July. Because he still has another year on his contract. They have him for next year guaranteed.
Yep.
But in July 1, they can start to look to re-sign him for future. If he decides he doesn't want to come, or if he decides he doesn't want to re-sign in Minnesota, then they can try and trade him again and get those resources back, and possibly even more, which kind of sounds crazy because they give up 4 first-round picks. But they could potentially get more if they can convince him to do a sign and trade somewhere.
Yeah.
So maybe it's you're not going to sign in Minnesota. We had our chance, in 2026. 2027 isn't going as well. So we're going to trade you to maybe New Jersey. And New Jersey is going to give us a first-round pick, They're going to give us Simon Mennick, who is a top defenseman. Maybe they throw in Nico Hirscher. That would be absolutely insane.
That would,
But like, you have, again, the possibility of Minnesota recouping those assets if it doesn't work.
because Quinn, he's still on the same contract till next year in July. So I wonder if, depending on how he plays, if he's still playing the same, he's being elite, scoring goals and whatnot. I wonder if his contract would change to where he would be with the Wild for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So I don't know any direction after in July.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to just see how far they make it. Like if they get ousted in the first round and it doesn't work very well, he might be like, yeah, I think I'm going to wait and see. But if they go far, maybe make it to the Stanley Cup final or at least the Western Conference final, then maybe he's like, you know what? I do like winning. I want to stay here, which realistically could be bad for us. So maybe we need Minnesota to not do well. We already have to deal with Colorado and we already have to deal with Dallas. So let's not let Minnesota be good too.
Yeah.
So Brad commented, said, high risks give high rewards unless it's Doug Armstrong. Then it doesn't typically, then the high risks end up just being high risks and not many rewards, which is kind of the Logan Mailloux trade right now. Logan Mailloux hasn't been playing better, but that's kind of, I think, the general consensus of where we're at with that one.
Yeah.
So, and then he had to leave. Oh, Brad, he's a funny guy. All right. Josh, anything else for us tonight?
I think we covered everything that's bigger. You know, we had that huge trade. We got the Skinner, which I still think that a lot of people in St. Louis were wanting Skinner to come here and have Jordan out of here, but I kind of figured Jordan wasn't going anywhere. I'm happy he's staying. I mean, he was a rookie for the Blues in 19, so I'm hoping he sticks around for a little bit longer, see what he can do, because from what I've noticed, he's more of a playoff under pressure type of player. Just like in the Four Nations game last year, he was unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully maybe be the same. He plays very, very well in Four Nations, comes back, and he's just a whole different goalie.
Do you think, because I mean the stats aren't great right now, do you think he still gets an invite to the Team Canada for the Olympics?
I think he'll still get the invite given his history.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
I don't know if, I guess whoever's picking the teams will go off of a handful, 10, 20, 30 games from one season. Mm-hmm. Look at his stats over 2019, 20, 21, and so on. But I think he'll still get the invite. I think he'll still play.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about it is the guy who is picking the team for Team Canada is Doug Armstrong. He's their general manager. So Jordan Binnington and Colton Parayko have a little, foot in the door on getting in.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Josh, thank you so much for coming on. For the people listening, make sure, again, you check out Scooter's Coffee. Go get your hot coffee. Maybe even get an iced coffee because it's been kind of warm this week. Mm-hmm. Check out Hughes Custom Design on Facebook for your wood carving needs, and check out Imprint Labs for pretty much anything else. Josh, give me a big let's go Blues, and we'll get out of here.
Let's go Blues!
All right. See you, everybody.